bit like that. What are they called? You know, wow. But yeah, that's basically it. And I loved it. It's a real watch it. This one, how this one ended, I think I almost put the book out my window. In my coffee frame, my favourite frame, there's like no to take someone off and doesn't know how to express feelings. I think that will do. I'm not feeling the best today, which is really annoying because I never usually feel like this, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna do it. And hopefully all of my insecurities and my bad feelings literally go away. So, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Eilidh, and if you are not, then hello, it is good to see you again. I'm trying to clean my glasses and it's proven difficult. Bear with. That just has not improved. I don't know what it is about my glasses, but something is just not cleaning it. Like nothing is cleaning them and it's really, really annoying. So I'm having this weird glaze. Anyway, I thought this would be a really good idea because I have been in such a fantasy mood recently. And I think that's because we're coming into the autumn season. We're coming into, well, we're in the middle of September. I already feel like it's October, not gonna lie. I am ready to get out my leather jackets, to get out my turtlenecks, to get out my long amazing coats and really just dive into the autumn season. It's my favourite season, and also it's my favourite season of reading because I love a good fantasy, especially a romantasy book. Like that's where you'll find me. You'll be with me, you know? So I thought today we could go through some of my all-time favourite fantasy books, some books that I really like to recommend people, especially if you're trying to get into some fantasy. These are some really, one, popular fantasy books that I actually believe personally are worth it, and two, they're just something you should add to your TBR. They're just books you should add to your TBR, I'm not gonna lie. So I've got a mixture of some spicy books, some dark fantasy books, some non-spice books, you know, literally everything but all fantasy. So let's jump straight into this video and yeah, let's basically just see where we go with it because I have no plan, zero plan. Okay, so the first series that I kind of just want to throw it out there because everyone has been reading this book, well no, this whole series of books, and no one can shut up about it, and I literally love it for that. Literally love it, and that is the Powerless series. I love Payden and Kai. It's such a fast, well not really a fast-paced series, but it's never boring, it never slacks. It has such good banter, and both of the characters in this book. So we have Powerless and Reckless about Payden and Kai, and then you have Powerful, which is a novella, and this follows Adina and Mac, I think his name is. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Mac's story in this. Oh my god, this book shattered me. Actually shattered me. And the way you read these books is Powerless first, then you would go ahead and read the novella, and then read Reckless. These are the orders that they have been published and the way that I have read them, and actually I'm very, very glad I read them this way. But this is a competition story. There is like competitors with things. It is blood, gory, magic. I mean, it has all the work in it. It's also a non-spice series as well. I have no idea if there's gonna be spice in the next book because we've got another book coming out which is Fearless, which is coming out next year I believe, and I am so excited for that. But yeah, tropes in this, I am going to count it as a slow burn. Enemies to lovers, forced proximity, like there's a lot of who did this to you, and there's kind of like a cat and mouse chase as well in it. There's betrayal, there's plot twist, there is like what are they called, rebels, assassins, there's people with magic, people without magic, and you know, it kind of has all the stops in it, and it kind of, this series drew me in straight away. Like I read these books all pretty much in one sitting or within 24 hours, and they never disappointed. They did not disappoint and I love them. So this is a series that I will always go to recommend. So if you haven't read Powerless, Reckless and Powerful yet, read it. Another non-spy series that one also got me into fantasy reading. I read this series really early on in my like reading journey thing, and that is the Dance of Thieves and the Vow of Thieves duology. This is also part of the Kiss of Deception series. I still haven't read the Kiss of Deception series, and a lot of people were saying, oh, you need to read that first before you go into these books. And coming from the side of like, I've never read the Kiss of Deception, like that. I think it's a 3-book series. Didn't even know it was in the same world. Went straight into this book and I loved it. I actually loved it. I loved the second one more. Because do you know what? It was just so good. Again, it was giving good banter. It's an enemies to lovers. I think she's like, yeah, she's a thief. She's either a thief. I read this so long ago that I'm trying to remember the plot, but I remember it being a cat and mouse chase, and also there was something to do with like a lot of betrayal happened in this book. And also I remember there was a big cat and mouse chase with this where actually there was a lot of false proximity into this, because I swear they were chained together, or I'm either making that up, but I swear they were chained together. And they did, it kind of was a slow burn as well, and then like a whole different story, not completely different, but like shit happened in this book. This was leading to what was happening in this book, basically. I'm trying not to like explain the whole story and give a bunch of spoilers, because there is so much I could actually talk about, but this is like one of the series where I would just go in blind. I would go, the back doesn't really give you much information, it gives you something but not loads. And I remember it being a slow burn as well, because I remember reading the story and being like, oh my god, I wish they would just like kiss or get together, or like forget about all the stuff that makes them different and just like talk about their feelings, you know? It was one of those, and I actually really enjoyed that. So yeah, Dance of Thieves, Vow of Thieves, good books. Good books. Hopefully my explanations are doing well, because right now I'm not the best at explaining stuff. I'm just kind of like, if I show you a book, just add it to your list. Just do it. Just trust me. Just trust me. Anyway, this one, yes, do trust me. And I will always rave about this author, Ali Hazelwood's Bride. This is her first fantasy book. She's gone from writing like adult romances, and then she wrote a YA romance, which I have yet to read, and then she's now written a fantasy book, a romantasy book. And I think this is my favourite one that she's ever written. I think this was one of my first 5 stars of the year. It has vampires, it has werewolves, it's another marriage of convenience, false proximity, enemies to lovers. What else is there? I try to remember. I'm gonna say this is a spicy book. This book does have spice in it. And it's yeah. I'm just gonna leave it like that. If I've never read a werewolf book before, and actually remembering how much I enjoyed this book, definitely want to go more into that genre now. But this is a standalone book. It was so easy to read. Ali Hazelwood's writing is the easiest thing I will probably ever read. She's always an author I will go to if I'm in a slump and I need a book that will get me out of it. She's the author that I 100% go to. So if you're in a slump and you want a fantasy book to help you get out of a slump, read Bride. You might hate it, you might love it. It's kind of like Marmite. You either hate it or you love it, and I 100% loved it. Her name is Misery though, so you would just have to ignore that factor. Yes. We're going on to another 5-star read for me. This is now a dark fantasy. So this is, you've got a morally grey FMC, so she's the bad one and he's like the good one. The Book of Ezreal. The Gods and Monsters series. I freaking love this book. I read this book so quickly, and she's not skinny. She's a thicky, curvy, chunky, wonky babe. You know? She is slay. I love this book so much. It is, somebody said to me it's gonna be like a 7-book series. I might be making that up. But there are 3 books already out. The 4th one's coming out soon. There hasn't been like that. I don't think there's been a cover release yet. I've got no idea. But I've read the first 2. Need to read the 3rd one. Haven't got a chance to read the 3rd one yet, but I am dying to read the 3rd one. This one, loved it. Loved it. When you say enemies, they are enemy. Enemy. And she's bad. She's the morally grey one. She's the wow. You know, wow. The journeys that they go through in this book, like, I'm the type of person who is not a huge fan of like really plot heavy books because I really struggle to focus and to retain information that is given. So I like books that are more of a character development. You're more following the character story and like how they got from A to Z and like, you know, went through all of these things. But this book it had a good balance of character development and plot development. My god, did the plot keep swapping and turning and changing and everything, and I kind of didn't know who I was rooting for in this book, and I liked that. I was always surprised. Always surprised. And I probably liked characters that I shouldn't like and got giddy about characters I probably shouldn't have been like, hello. You know, shouldn't have been feeling that for them, but loved it. And also gobsmacked. The second one, how that ended. How this one ended, I think I almost chucked the book out my window. I was like, no, I'm not going through these feelings. Nah. And instantly had to pick up the second one and put myself through that whole experience again. So that was great. That's what this book is giving. It is literally everything and more. And if you love a dark fantasy, enemies to lovers, morally grey, he will literally destroy the world for her and he's supposed to be the good guy. You know? That's that type of thing. We love that. I loved this book. This one was one of my favourite books. Okay, moving on. I now have like a bunch of little books that are really good books. So, okay, first one. I'm going to retract what I just said. I'm going to recommend The Serpent and the Wings of Night. This book, I didn't like the first time I read it. Didn't love it. Second time I read it, loved it. Enjoyed it so much. Got through the second one. Didn't love the second one as much, but would still recommend the series. Are we getting what I'm trying to say? This is another vampire book. Another competition one. Another plot twist. My god, did it scare me sometimes. She's human in a vampire world, but things get interesting. Like very, very, very interesting in the second book. Well, actually, towards the end of this book, for stuff I didn't quite know, it's another, obviously, like every single fantasy book that I've so far recommended is an enemies to lovers, because that is great. We love that. And this one, I really loved Ryan. See, right, let me clear up some stuff, okay? Because I know people are going to say things, but his name is spelled R-A-I-H-N, okay? A lot of people would pronounce that as Rain. I pronounce it as Ryan because in my brain, in my Scottish brain, my Gaelic brain with odd names, if I saw that spelling in Scotland, it would be Ryan. Like Ryan. There's a H in it. Han. Ryan. Or Ryan, however you would pronounce it. Rain is basically saying there is no H in this name and it literally is rain. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I don't know. I've seen a lot of people like pronounce it differently. A lot of people pronounce it as rain and I can't find the official pronunciation thing, but whenever I've like looked it up or done research, because we all know I do research, but whenever I've done that, it's always come up as Ryan or like said really fancy, like Ryan, like hen, you know, Ryan, you know? So that's how I pronounce his name. And I love that. But again, this is another dark fantasy. I'm like romantasy. Again, enemies to lovers. There is a big competition in it. Another Who Did This To You. There has to be alliances as well in it. And I also like how the main character in this, Ryan, doesn't like sugarcoat anything. He's not babying her as well. Because sometimes I feel like characters can baby. And I don't like when they baby. I like when they put up a fight and have a little flirtatious bullying. We love that, and I get a lot of that in this to the point where I am actually laughing. So cute. Another book where it's not baby is The Daughter of the Pirate King. Again, love this one. Haven't read the second one. It's another dual book. Read the first one, absolutely loved it. There's quests, there's pirates, there's sirens. Another enemies to lovers, another false proximity. I think she's literally held captive. And the girl in this, whose name I can't, Alosa, I think that's her name. Funniest girl character I've ever met. We love her. She's great. But yes, they're on this search for a map. There is like twists, turns, there is blood, there is injury, there is who did this to you. There is also concern. But these two characters together, I think his name's Ridden. I remember Ridden. He's giving Prince Eric, but if he was a little scruffier. You know? Them two together. Oh, I had the best time with this book. It was like my best friend when I was reading it. Again, another book that really got me into like fantasy sort of books, and also pirate. So coming away from this video, I need to read more pirate stuff and more werewolf stuff. That's going down on the list, but haven't read the second one yet. Going to read the second one, but put this on your TBR. And last one, again, another book that is a standalone book, but it is part of a series, but in the series it's different like creatures. Is that the right word? I don't think that's the right word, but anyway, deal with the Elf King. This book might not, written-wise, like writing, be the best, but character development and easy to read and kicking my feet was very high. I loved it. This is another that's marriage of convenience, forced proximity, another enemies to lovers, the Elf King, human queen. It had a lot to do with like trying to save the world, but then her trying to get out of the contract that she didn't sign up for. No, she didn't really have a choice. She was like, you are this person, you need to come to our land and basically sit on this chair that is really, really painful. And a king who's a stubborn ass and doesn't know how to express his feelings, so is really mean to her. But her, who was not trained on how to be queen, is really mean back to him. And it's kind of the funniest thing in the whole entire world. I was reading this book, and again, it was another book that I was having a grand old time with. But if you're looking for a standalone book, but yes, the world continues, and it's the type of book where I'm like, I would want to read similar things because one, the writing is really easy to read, and also I know with each book that I'm going into, I'm gonna kind of get the same thing, but not, you know, because this one was about an elf, the Elf King. I know there's another one with the Fey Prince, another one with a Vampire Lord, and a Siren Duke. And I just feel like those are the type of like easy read books, especially because they're short as well. They're short, sweet, got to the point, but I didn't realise I was reading. Like I forgot I was reading, you know? And I feel like with every single one of the books in the series, I'm gonna kind of feel the same. Don't know if it's true though, because I haven't read the other books in the series, but really, really do want to. But going from this, yes. Do I make sense? Am I making sense right now? Basically, what I'm trying to say is with every single one of the books that I have just recommended, every single one of them, I forgot I was reading and I literally fell into the world. And if I had to pick one of the world that I could live in, I think I might cry because I would just want to be jumping between them all. If I knew I was going to survive. If I knew I was going to die in one of them, then I'd be like, yo, no, count me out. In like any situation, I would be like that. But do you know what I'm trying to basically say? I hope I made sense in this whole video. But yeah, that's basically it. I don't know how many books I just recommended. I was supposed to recommend 5 and I have a funny feeling I've like recommended 7 or 6. I don't know, but I hope you have enjoyed this video and that you will take at least one of my recommendations and put it on your TBR. If not, then this has been a fail, but oh well, I tried. But I hope you have enjoyed this video and I will see you all in the next one. Mwah, peace, goodbye. This might have been the shittest video that I've ever filmed, but you know, I try. I do try. Okay, goodbye.